Hi, Facebook friends and family. I've put together a short PSA about media literacy and ethics in communication and why they are important to us as Facebook users. I'll start by explaining what I mean about media literacy and ethics in communication. Media literacy education is becoming quite a trend in schools and universities. This is exciting as well as important in a democracy because it creates informed citizens, wise consumers, and responsible producers of media. You may be asking, well, how does it do that? So I'll elaborate a bit here. Media literacy is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, participate, and create media. Most of us are performing most of these activities right now on Facebook. This is one of the reasons why I decided that you'd be a good audience for this message. When you upload pictures or videos, what I'll refer to as content, to your Facebook page, you are in fact accessing, participating, and creating media. But what about analyzing and evaluating media? Do we know how to use a critical eye to analyze and evaluate the numerous media messages we are exposed to on a daily basis? And do we understand the impact we may have on others when we choose to share content? When we talk about media literacy in an academic setting, we are usually referring to the analysis and evaluation of commercial media such as advertising and programming. For the purposes of my message, however, I will focus the attention to media we find on our Facebook pages. The majority of the content we find here is user-generated. Even with user-generated content, we still have to be discerning in how we approach the information. We still have to use a critical eye to analyze and evaluate the incoming information. I'll give you two examples of what I mean. In the case of reposting information, I recently saw a post that an 8-year-old boy had been shot 6 times by his mother's boyfriend because he tried to prevent the man from raping his little sister. Along with the message was a photograph of a boy laying on a cot or a gurney of some sort with a person standing over him. In the photograph, there was not much blood or bandages, just the boy grimacing as proof of the pain he was experiencing. The message implored readers to like the photo so money could be raised to save his life. So herein lies the problem. As a victim of a crime where life-threatening trauma is sustained, we do not have to pay upfront for our medical bills. As a response-able or responsible individual, we should not post questionable content. Put quite simply, if you are not willing to do the research to check out the validity of a story, you should probably not repost it. For my second example, I'd like to touch upon ethics in communication. Put quite simply, and for the purpose of this message, ethics will be described as the rightness or wrongness of our behavior. Can someone classify your content as being appropriate? This gets tricky as you invite more people to join your Facebook environment. Do you have older relatives, such as aunts and uncles or even grandparents, who may be viewing your content? Are you friends with coworkers or people you know, just in passing perhaps? If you have answered yes to any of these examples, you should probably be careful. You should refrain from posting content that is insensitive, violent, or pornographic in nature. You should also refrain from sending messages that belittle, slander, or threaten other individuals. If you can't say these things to someone personally, excluding threatening someone, which is never right, they probably should not be said at all. Alternatively, if you find yourself as a target for such behavior, you have the right to defriend or unfriend the offending party. If you want to communicate ethically, you must consider how your message will be received by the entire group. A good rule of thumb: if you wouldn't want your grandmother to see the message, whether she is your Facebook friend or not, you should probably not post it. With all that said, I'd like to reiterate my top 3 best practices that you can personally apply when using social media in a response-able way. 1. Analyze and evaluate posts by others for their accuracy and how it might add value to the rich conversations already taking place on your Facebook page. Be respectful of how others feel. Do not post disparaging remarks about others and avoid threatening and discriminatory language. Also, avoid posting obscene content that depicts nudity or violence. And lastly, steer clear of exaggeration, lying, and gossip. Respect other people's privacy because no one likes a gossip. Those are just a few tips that you can apply to keep your social networking life happy and responsible. Thank you for listening.